Tomorrow will mark 147 days until January 6, 2025, the day the results of this November's presidential election must be certified. Given the violent insurrection at the Capitol during the same constitutionally mandated session almost 4 years ago, it will be another test of lawmakers' ability or willingness to uphold the democratic process and the will of the American people. Of the 147 members of Congress who voted against certifying the 2020 presidential election results, nearly all of them are still in office. Some lawmakers of this so-called sedition caucus have gone on to higher ranks, from senator to Speaker of the House. This explains why Michael Fanone and Aquilino Gonell, two former police officers who survived serious injuries from the January 6th insurrection, will issue a new and urgent call to action for Congress to make sure the 2024 election results are certified. And they'll counter Donald Trump's lies about the violence they saw and experienced on that dark day in American history, like what he said during his unhinged press conference at Mar-a-Lago on Thursday.
If you look at January 6th, which a lot of people aren't talking about very much, I think those people were treated very harshly. When you compare them to other things that took place in this country where a lot of people were killed, nobody was killed on January 6th. But I think that the people of January 6th were treated very unfairly.
Joining me now, former D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone. He's a member of the Courage for America Council and the author of Hold the Line, The Insurrection and One Cop's Battle for America's Soul. Michael, thank you very much for coming back to the show. Just your reaction to what we just heard from Donald Trump.
I mean, no, there's nothing new there. It's a lie. People did die on January 6th. Some of them were Donald Trump's own supporters. All of them fueled by his lies and the lies of many of his sycophants, in that the 2020 election was somehow stolen or rigged, which we now know is not the truth. That's a big part of why I've joined these other members of the Courage for America Council in authoring this letter, which we plan to send to Congress tomorrow, demanding that members certify the upcoming election results. Remember, these 147 members who voted against certification did so with no evidence whatsoever other than the baseless claims of Donald Trump that in somehow or in some way the election had in fact been rigged. 60-plus court cases have proved otherwise. And his own attorney general has said that there was no fraud in the 2020 election.
This letter that you're going to be sending, is it to all members of Congress or to the 147?
I believe we're sending it to all members of Congress.
Is it? It just strikes me as odd that you even have to do this. It should be pro forma by the time it gets to Congress on January 6th. What does it say to you that almost 4 years after the insurrection, that you feel compelled, duty-bound, to send this letter to Congress?
I think it speaks to the strength of Donald Trump's rhetoric and the hold that he has over the Republican Party and many of his supporters, in that even to this day, many Americans don't believe the reality of January 6th, don't understand that it was Donald Trump's lies that inspired so many Americans like me, to storm the Capitol and attack police officers. It's a very dangerous situation that we're coming into.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of danger, NBC News reports that your mom was swatted after you called Trump an authoritarian. That was from late May. How is your mother doing?
Oh, she's fine now. I mean, I think that, unfortunately, these incidents, this was not a one-off, and it's something that my family has grown accustomed to, whether it's swatting incidents or harassment. This is something that I encounter personally almost on a daily basis.
How are you doing, Michael?
I think I said in the interview like 2.5 years ago that I was exhausted. So you can imagine how exhausted I am now. Sometimes I feel like a broken record talking about January 6th. I don't have a sounding board of people telling me that what I'm doing is resonating or not. I'm just out here doing it because I think it's the right thing to do. I hope it's having a positive effect, but I don't have a clue.
Michael Fanone, it's not a broken record. It is a loop, and it is a loop that needs to be said continually, because the fact that you and Officer Gonell are having to put out this letter only proves that we're still in danger. And I'm sure lots of people who are watching, thank you very much for continuing to speak out despite the things that are happening to you as a result of it. Michael Fanone, as always, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday Show.
Thank you.